Primerica deals. They brainwash you.
The United States government is structured just like a triangle.
Number one, pyramids are illegal.
The military stays recruiting, colleges stay recruiting. So if you want to stay in business, you know that you got to keep recruiting, right?
Don't you let nobody steal your dreams!
Many people have commented on my channel asking me to investigate whether or not Primerica is a pyramid scheme. So after calling around to multiple Primerica offices in my city, I finally found a representative who was willing to sit down and explain to me exactly what Primerica does.
Do you have some time, let's see, Sunday?
Since so many people in my city recognize me for my pyramid scheme videos, I told this recruiter that my name was Alex. I got dressed for success and I got my hidden microphone and spy pen camera ready to go. Okay, I just got here to Primerica and I'm nervous. I haven't done one of these in person in 3 years. Wish me luck.
Alex, come on.
Thank you so much.
This is our office.
Amazing.
You know, when it's full and there's a bunch of people in here, it is the most positive place you'll ever see. So, Primerica is one of the only companies in the world that has the most $1 million earners.
Of any company? Mm-hmm. So the most people who have become a millionaire from their job is from Primerica?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Primerica does come up as the #1 result when I Googled it, but when you click on the source, you find this picture of a person on a motorcycle posted on a Facebook page called Toys for Boys. I think there's some sort of SEO optimization strategy going on here, and when you search commonly asked questions about the company, you find overwhelmingly positive results. For example, Primerica's website explicitly says that not only are they not a pyramid scheme, they aren't even multi-level marketing. This is simply untrue. Primerica is a member of the Direct Selling Association, which is composed almost entirely of MLM companies and lobbies the government on their behalf. We'll get into that more in depth later.
So if you, as the RVP, trained and developed 3 RVPs, you're now a senior vice president, which means your income could be anywhere from $10,000. I've seen senior vice presidents make $50,000 a month.
$50,000 a month?
Yes. So you can make up to, and no, I don't say up to, because it is an unlimited income potential. So you get all the training for social media, what you can, can't do, all of those things.
Oh, they have
Twitter.
You can't do certain things?
Instagram. Yeah, because we are highly regulated. You can't go, I make $500,000 a year.
Oh.
You can't.
Why not?
That. Because what you want to do is you want to talk to people about the opportunity.
But how do you talk about the opportunity that's life-changing without giving examples of how it changed your life?
Oh, it changes you're not wrong.
Throughout the process of making this video, I recorded hundreds of Instagram stories and other social media posts from Primerica agents at the highest level of the company that violated not only Primerica's own internal social media guidelines, but also of this FTC warning letter that was issued to over 1,100 companies, most of them MLM companies, including Primerica, that says if their distributors made false money-making claims to consumers, they could be fined over $43,000 per violation. If typical representatives do not achieve such results, then your post may be considered false or misleading by regulators. You can celebrate most milestones and achievements with the required earnings disclosure described on page 15 and 16, but you may not reference milestones for $1 million earners and above.
Yes. This is 2021. These are all the $1 million earners.
So we literally just looked at an official Primerica document that said not to make reference to $1 million earners and above, and then she pulled out a book showing all the $1 million earners.
Mario Arizon. He was 18 years old when he started with Primerica. He was the youngest $1 million earner to hit $1 million at 28 years old.
And they used to tell me, hey, Mario, don't get your hopes up. Let me tell you right now, you better get your hopes up!
I want you to imagine this. You see a rabbit fly through your backyard, like, where did that come from? And then 3 seconds later, you know why it's running. There's a big old dog chasing it. See, now I want you to picture that same dog, but you've never seen the rabbit. You would think that dog's crazy. Well, guess what? That's what your family thinks about you sometimes. It's just a matter of time before they convince you that you're crazy and you're gonna stop chasing greatness, and that's sad.
Mario Arizon runs the Arizon hierarchy team in Primerica. Mario utilizes all the logical fallacies in the book to defend Primerica, but he's especially gifted when it comes to emphasizing the importance of belief. This, combined with his rags to riches story and the non-stop, almost daily deceptive lifestyle and earnings claims he posts on Instagram, has made Mario one of Primerica's most successful recruiters.
This is me working at a night swami. See, on the weekends, I had to work since 5 in the morning, and I wouldn't come home sometimes till 1 in the morning. You know what God was doing? He was shaping me for my destiny.
How I represent myself in this earth is how I represent him. And there's no way God has blessed me with too much for me to let him down and make him look bad. I went from living in a van to living in a freaking mansion. And this is actually my guest house.
You got the Versace on?
Yes, got Versace, some Louis on. I got this for Father's Day, a beautiful Rolly. We're building a resort, so I have a basketball court here. This is not just any regular pool. It's gonna be a wave pool. Man, this pool is really cool at night. Lights up, fire, everything. I'll bring out the Lambo, you bring out the Rolls. When after I'm done, this house will be like $10, $15 million. Building a life-size theater.
How much money do you make per month?
Around $1 million a month.
$1 million a month.
Yeah.
They asked Mario, how are you so humble?
Our team is not like family, they are family. So they come over, we have a blast, we sell them the dream. My mom's birthday was yesterday, and that's awesome. But they used to say, even on her birthday, like, Mario, what type of son are you? It's Mother's Day. You're working on Mother's Day? Yeah. You know what I told them?
What do you tell them?
That's why I'm working so hard. So every day can be my mom's Mother's Day.
What?
Who says once a year I can celebrate my mom's day? Yeah. That's an employee mindset.
Oh, you went to one of those Primerica deals. They brainwash you. Every person on stage will tell you they've been through that. It's your ability to say, you know what? I love you, but I love you enough to keep you, love you enough from a distance. Oh, that's my mom. Your mom will thank you one day. Mary Lou, what type of mother are you? Your son's not going to college? Your son's doing that pyramid thing, huh? Hey, I drive the Lamborghini. Mama, don't have to worry about money no more because I know my purpose.
Don't you let nobody steal your dreams!
His heart is so big, and it blows my mind. That's the Primerica convention, so we go to the Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And we fill it.
And that's why we became the youngest $500,000 earner in Primerica. What other opportunity do you know that's gonna pay a 21-year-old $500,000?
These extravagant Primerica conventions are, in my opinion, nothing more than expensive hype rallies where recruits listen to hours of mindless motivational babble from the people at the very top of the company. These events are where chanting, singing, clapping, praying, and manifesting all get mixed with music and confetti and mob psychology to create an almost religious euphoria among the attendees. It's also worth noting that every MLM I've ever looked into holds events like these multiple times a year to keep morale in the company high and discourage people from leaving. The message pushed at these events is usually along the lines of quitters never win and winners never quit. It's these elements that contribute to why I believe MLM companies operate as commercial cults. Primerica even has their own propaganda videos that they use to discredit outside sources of information. Check it out.
If you've surfed the web, you've probably read a lot of things that don't make sense or are simply not true. You would not believe the advertising revenue that's generated by people who build deceptive websites just to make a quick buck.
You know, people have a right to be wrong just because they type it on the internet. That doesn't make it true.
If you Google moon landing scam, you'll find 184,000 search results.
I once heard the internet described as the bathroom wall of the 21st century.
If you hang around negative people, sooner or later, it's bound to have a negative impact on you.
Scam, right. The world's largest independent financial marketing company, licensed in every single state. Some of the top private equity firms in the world investing hundreds of millions of dollars with us.
You think that they probably would have uncovered a scam before your brother-in-law did?
If that's a scam, I'll take two, please.
That's my kind of scam.
What other company or industry can you think of that has to go this hard to try and convince you they're not a scam?
The beauty of Primerica is I can do it part-time, I can do it full-time, or I can do it in my spare time. My clients are not just clients. They are my friends. They are pieces of my family. So I take them very seriously. So when they call me at 11 o'clock at night, I'm gonna answer the darn phone.
Part-time, full-time, or spare time, but you're answering the phone for clients at 11 o'clock at night? That sounds to me like you're working all the time.
This is the video that's going to kind of explain everything of what we do.
Okay.
And so it's a business opportunity video.
A lot of companies have done their research on us, and many have chosen to partner with Primerica to help us fulfill our mission across North America.
So Primerica deals with financial products, primarily insurance, and they act as a middleman between the policy issuer and the customer. What I take issue with here is them saying that they are partnered with these companies. Primerica is essentially a vendor for these companies. So in my opinion, saying they're partnered with them would be like a convenience store owner saying they're partnered with Coca-Cola and Doritos because they sell Coca-Cola and Doritos. The video then attempts to legitimize Primerica by mentioning that they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange, that they've been around since 1977, and how they're a part of the Fortune 1000, and how Forbes named them one of America's most trustworthy financial companies. There's no doubt that Primerica is certainly a legal company, but just because a company is publicly traded and has been around a long time doesn't eliminate the potential potential for wrongdoing. And even though something is legal, it doesn't mean it's ethical. Slavery was legal for hundreds of years, and we can all agree today that it was wrong.
The business model is very common. When a doctor has other doctors work for her, she has a practice. When a lawyer hires other lawyers to work for him, he has a firm. When you train people to be financial guides for others, you have an agency.
Primerica will do to finance what Amazon did to retail. Aside from Amazon, medical practices, law firms, and insurance agencies, throughout this video, you will hear Primerica compared to traditional corporations, the military, the government, professional sports, colleges, and marriage. These are all false equivalencies that reveal themselves to be completely nonsense when you break them down. Oh, hold on. I know this guy. Gary, right?
Cornegay? Yeah.
I seen him on Instagram driving like a Bentley, I think. I first learned of Gary Cornegay's existence at the end of 2021. I was doing a live stream on my channel and I had a Zoom link where people could call in and talk to me. He called in to tell me what a big fan of my work he was because he also fights dishonest pyramid schemes.
I've been at MLM for 33 years and I've been fighting all these wannabe MLM companies that are structured, I hate to say it, like a pyramid scheme.
Okay, so Gary contradicts Primerica's website and admits that it is in fact multi-level marketing. That's a start. Gary thinking that Primerica is any better than the rest of the MLM companies out there is evidence to me of how successful the us versus them brainwashing is. I've heard people in MLMs refer to Amway as Scamway, even though Amway paved the way for these companies to do exactly the same thing, and without Amway they wouldn't even exist. As a matter of fact, the founder of Primerica, Art Williams, wrote in his book Coach that he got the idea for Primerica's structure from Amway. Every MLM I've studied makes its members think that they're the best one and the rest are scams. It's insane.
Can I ask you what the company is, Gary, that you're in?
Well, I don't know if I could do that legally, you know.
Why not?
But my compliance department may chew my ass out.
I don't think the compliance department would have an issue with you saying, hey, I've been with a company for 33 years and it changed my life. If anything, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
the fact that Gary didn't want to tell me the name of the company he was with is a huge red flag to me. In my experience, I've noticed that MLMs often have groups or teams with their own branding that they use to recruit people, and it's usually not until you're already sitting at one of their opportunity presentations where you see what the actual company is. Gary's brand is called the Cornegay Hierarchy or Cornegay Family Enterprises. After I put that video with Gary out, Primerica put a copyright claim on it, and I got a copyright strike on my channel as well. Thankfully, I was able to get this reversed after a few days, and the video was put back up. Silencing critics and removing any content that questions or criticizes them is arguably the highest priority of a large cult. Primerica even caught wind of me making this video and sent me this cease and desist letter back in April, claiming that I had violated their copyright by using their logo in a couple thumbnails from my multi-level misery series where I talked to former Primerica recruits about their experience. They also claimed that my words in those videos were defamatory and specifically demanded that I don't release a video called Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme, Primerica.
I'm from the hood of South Central LA, so I grew up in a gang-infested, drug-infested environment.
Gary's backstory is all over the place. In our first conversation, he tells me he's from the gang-infested, drug-infested hood. But in an interview that came out a year earlier, Gary says that his life growing up was one of immense privilege.
Well, my dad bought his first home in 1961, and then as time went on, he bought 2 homes on the block. Then he bought 3 homes on the same block. Then he bought an apartment complex. And then he bought a parking lot next to a church. Then he bought the church. And he just kind of kept going with that. So it was great, man. So being a kid, you know, in the 1960s for our family was the Cleavers. We really were the Cleavers. I'm serious, man. I never wanted for money. I've never been broke in my life. My parents have always had money. My dad gave me a home. My dad gave me a home for my wedding gift.
His contradictions continue when he talks about his education.
I did not go to college. I don't have any formal education past high school. As a matter of fact, I repeated to 12th grade.
But then, in one of his Zoom meetings, Gary is telling this story about how he would call restaurants that were fully booked, trying to get a reservation for his wife's birthday, where he refers to himself multiple times as Dr. Cornegay.
I'm Dr. Gary Cornegay. Dr. Cornegay, man. Dr. Cornegay. Thank you so much for helping me out earlier.
I did a lot of research for this video, and I could not find a single thing online that would confirm to me that Gary is a doctor in any sense of the word.
I don't own the restaurant anymore. I don't own the publishing company anymore. I don't own the record label anymore. So I'm not saying that I own these things. I was trying to tell you that I failed in all of those businesses.
I've seen this a lot in my experience with MLMs, where a recruiter talks about how some past business of theirs failed and how their MLM was the opportunity that turned everything around for them. I think the point of this is to convince people how amazing their MLM is, but to me, it just reaffirms what I've always believed, that the people at the top of these MLMs actually have no business acumen whatsoever and have failed at every other form of legitimate business they've tried their hand at, and so now they've opted for deceiving people into a pyramid scheme instead.
I built the same for 33 years, and I've amassed a fortune doing it. I never said I made money off of it. I've been in it 33 years.
You did say you made money off it. You said you've made a fortune off of it.
You know, a lot of these multi-market companies, their products are tied to recruiting. They'll package the product inside the application and say, oh no, it doesn't cost you nothing to join. I haven't made a dime in my 33-year career ever on recruiting anybody. I wish I did, okay? I didn't have one penny on anybody sign up in the company, ever.
Another lie. Here's a clip from yet another Gary Zoom I attended where he talks about how the downline of one single recruit makes up a large chunk of his income.
Out of 1,300 licenses, I think he's at 600, 700 of them. One person is a third of my business, pretty much. My lifestyle is so freaking awesome. There's no words in the dictionary to explain it. I can go anywhere I want to go, stay as long as I want to stay. I could burn through 100 grand. And by the time I make it back home in 15 days from that vacation, 100,000 back in my account. You're one recruit away from being a millionaire. What is this right here? Everybody say triangle. It's not a pyramid. So this is me. I made $200,000 a month. Yeah, the corporate structure. Well, they don't like that. All the anti-MLM guys go, and those people in the network marketing, they try to say, well, a job is like a pyramid. You have the president of the company, the vice president of the company, you have the executive board, and how do you go up? Well, you got to wait till this person gets fired because it gets smaller as it gets closer to the top. So this guy's trying to kill this guy.
That guy probably will never stop.
You would never.
Here, Gary uses this mocking tone to imitate those who are opposed to multi-level marketing and actually ends up proving the point that he's trying to argue against. MLM is not like a corporate structure. This is one of the most common false equivalences used by people in MLMs to try and argue that everything is a pyramid scheme. They will look at something that has a hierarchical